All right, announcements are done. Now I have an opportunity to do what I really enjoy, which is introduce our speaker. Our speaker is about to come up and talk to you about something really, really important, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background about her before we get started. Okay, so she's a Dallasite, has lived there for about 25 years. She's in the tech business like me, a very important tech business in cybersecurity. Okay, so if any of you got kids that are thinking about tech, get them into cyber, because it's going to be a big thing. All right, so like many of us in 2016 when the disaster in November occurred, she decided to get into politics. So she began to get involved. She became a voter registrar. And as fate would have it, she wound up meeting a couple of other people. Joe Sutton and Joe Cochran. All right? Well, together, they decided they needed to do something big. So they formed the funky East Dallas Democrats in 2017. Okay? And so they're focused on doing the Lord's work, which is getting progressive voters out to the polls, getting them engaged, getting candidates actualized, helping precinct captains do what they're supposed to be doing. And they also have got a plan. It's a secret plan, except you're going to hear about it tonight. It's called PUMP. Precinct United Mobilization Plan. All right, so with no further ado, I'm going to ask Kristy to come up and tell you all about it.
He knew my story. That was pretty cool. So, like I said, I'm Kristy. I'm part of the Feds, and we like to be called the Feds. At some point, we're going to start wearing those little things. Maybe. Anyway, I've met or seen a lot of people that I've been working with over the last couple of years, and it's really neat to see everybody. Some of you guys have seen some of this presentation. Maybe we'll switch it up a little bit, but if you've seen it, don't fall asleep, okay? So first I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in New Mexico, in a little bitty oil-filled town in northwest New Mexico in San Juan County. And San Juan County, although New Mexico is a lot bluer now, San Juan County is still red. It was red when I grew up there. I was definitely raised a Republican, and thought that there wasn't any Democrats in my county. If there were, I was told they were bad, and you know, that I was just indoctrinated. That's how I grew up. The other thing I didn't think that they had in San Juan County was gay person. You know, there was at least one, as it turned out. Didn't know that then, but they can bring it in there too. So I knew that I needed to get out of there as soon as I could. So I had no way to get out of there except I was kind of tall, had a decent basketball shot, and so I got a scholarship to Wayland Baptist University in West Texas. Great basketball school for women's basketball. But was there any gay people there? He said the pastor. I don't know about that. So anyway, not a whole lot. So I went through that process, that time of my life. Great school, had a great experience, except I was living, you know, two different lives, right? The one life where I was trying to figure out, am I okay? And this other life being what they needed me to be at a Baptist university in West Texas. Right? So I even actually, I went to a counselor at one point trying to figure all that out. I was like, you know, I think I might be gay. And no, you're not. You're not. Okay. So, didn't know what I wanted to do after I got out of school. Went to grad school. Can you guess where I went? Baylor. Didn't get enough. There were a few gay people there. They were hidden, you know. And let me take a sidetrack on this little story. And some of you might have heard this, but at that point, even though I was gay, I was still at Baptist University. I was still indoctrinated, basically, with the things that I grew up with. And so I was still very much a conservative and thought that that was the right way to be. I was pro-life at that point. because that's what I grew up with, right? I didn't know really any different. So at that point, this is a little personal, but I had to go to, I had to go to get to OBGYN at that point. I was in grad school, didn't have a lot of money. Where did I go? Go to Planned Parenthood, okay? That was back before Google Maps and cell phones and GPS and all that. So went to the yellow pages, made my appointment. I rip out the map in the back, right? Trying to find this in Waco, Texas. It is in, not the best part of town. It was in a residential area of a lot of old houses where they'd taken a house and they had changed it into a clinic, right? So I'm trying to get there. I turned down the street, and the house had a chain link fence all the way around it. And as I turn on the street, I see all the protesters, right? And they have their signs, and they have their pictures, and they're yelling, and they're just rabid, right? Those folks are just crazy. And so I'm still, even though I'm in grad school, I'm still pretty naive, young kid, pretty scared. I turn on my turn signal, they're banging on my car, yelling, don't do it. I pull in, I pull to the back, because that's where the parking lot is. I park, the policemen come out of the clinic, right? They walk me in, they're all around the back of the fence, still yelling at me as I'm going in, right? I go in, I walk in, there's all the doctors waiting in their little white coats. I walk up to the counter. I said, my name's Kristy I have an appointment. They look through their book. You're at the wrong clinic. Oh. So I had obviously gone to the abortion clinic, and I needed to go to the other clinic. So I walk out, they're still yelling at me, I go back. So again, at that point I was still Republican. I was still pro-life. And at that point in my life, the way that they were treated, the way they treated me, the way I felt, I thought, I am just here trying to take care of myself. And no one should be made to feel like that if they are just trying to take care of themselves. And that's when I turned left, right? And that's when I changed. When I started voting Democrat. And my guess is that every one of you have some type of story like that. Even if you were raised Democrat, there's something in your life that made you click. You know what I mean? And I think that there's something in most people's life, whether it was the Trump election or whether it was somewhere before, that made them click. And I'm going to go on with my story in a minute, but I want to focus on this for a second. That click, right? That is what binds us as Democrats, as progressives, as liberals. Whenever that clicked, that's when this group, these people, we became each other's tribe. And we need to remember that, because that's our base, that's our core, and that's what's going to win for us as we go forward into 2020. Okay, that click. Find that click in the people that you're talking to, and then they're going to come with us, right? That's our goal. So anyway, moved to Dallas after grad school. What did I find in Dallas? Gay people! So then I was able to start to come out of the closet, right? There were people that were like me, straight allies that, helped me to realize that I was just like them and there was nothing wrong with me. And I was able to grow, to come out slowly, and to gain confidence in who I was, and basically to integrate myself, right? And I was able to come out of the closet. But I wasn't able to do that until I had a community of people who supported me, for who I was, people who were like me, and then I was able to come out and be all that I could be, right? That is the exact same thing that we want to do with every single person who leans left in our neighborhoods, in our counties, in the state of Texas to make it turn blue, right? We got to get all the Democrats out of the closet, okay? And a lot of them have come out since 2016, don't you think? I mean, I don't know how big this group was before 2016, but I know we didn't even exist. So they're coming, but they're still out there, right? And we have done, as a collective unit, taken a huge step forward, but there's still more to do. And sometimes that big step is hard, but then those next few steps, we got to really dig in, and we got to take those next steps, because 2020, that's all the marbles, you guys. It's now or never. We have to change the direction of our country, and we have to do that one voter, one new voter at a time right where we are in our neighborhoods. And that's the concept of pump, okay? So obviously I voted Democrat after I, had the little turn left thing. And then, but I didn't really get involved, like Dennis said, until the Trumpocalypse, that's what we've been calling it. And with the voter registrar, we started the feds. We didn't know what we were doing, right? We had no idea. We looked at voting numbers and realized that voter turnout was awful, right? Abysmal. Same in Tarrant County, right? Right? And so we just all started to get to work. So we realized that we think, like you guys, I think you guys are you guys are doing most of the same things that we are, is precinct by precinct, neighborhood by neighborhood. That's where we're going to make the difference, and that's how we came up with Pump. So I'm going to go through this. I think a lot of this you guys are doing, but then I'm going to also talk about some specific things that I feel like has made a little bit of difference from a Fed's perspective, and kind of why we've grown so much in the last year or so. So Who's the Feds? We're a group of about 3,000 voters at this point in East Dallas.
Wow.
We cover about 100 precincts. When we started in June of 2017, we were hoping 20 people would show up at our meeting. In November of that year, when we really started, October, November, when we really started block walking and started, we got our van access, we really started doing things. We had about 150 people on our email list that were ready to work. And now we're getting close to 3,200 or something like that. So it's just exploding, and I think we've just scratched the surface of what we can do. And the other thing is, our main thing is doing increasing voter turnout. We support all of our Democratic candidates. We don't endorse in the primary because we want to support everyone who is left of center, right? That's our goal. And we at left of center, right? We're the inclusion party, right? We're the party that says everybody matters, no matter where they're from, what color they are, what sexuality they are. And that's what we want to incorporate into our club and into all the actions that we do. Is this working? Hold please.
Hello.
There we go. Okay. So we work with Democratic Party of Dallas. We work with Battleground. And one of our main goals is to work with every single club that we can across North Texas and across Texas, because we think we're all trying to do the same thing, right? If you guys have a great idea, we might want to implement it. If we have a great idea, we want you guys to implement it. The more we realize that we're not alone, just like me, I wasn't the only gay person in Dallas, Texas, right? There's tons of them. There's tons of us. The more we are together, the more we are communicating, the more we are working together, really the more people are going to want to be a part of us, and we're going to grow and grow and grow, okay? So I absolutely love working with clubs. We're going to Tyler, we're going to Houston, and I want to build a regional and state network of clubs that are within the party, outside the party, grassroots, whatever, to turn Texas blue, and that's what it's going to take, right? Us all working together. This is just not the best map, but when we started, we just decided we needed to take an area of Dallas. And so this is 35, 635, and 30. So we just decided we're going to take all of East Dallas, 100 precincts, let's see what we can do with it. At this point, we have about 35 precincts with precinct organizers who have teams that are working full strength. And like